Hey everyone, I'm the Canadian lad, and Marvel just released the first teaser trailer for Eternals. Now if you know me, you know what I do, so I have watched this teaser at 0.2 fabric speed and found quite a few amazing details. This is gonna be a complete breakdown plus my 0.2 fabric speed series, so I'm gonna go scene by scene and try to explain everything that is happening. But before that, let me introduce you to the Eternals. The universe has a group of gods called the Celestials, traveling from planet to planet to do experiments. So when the Celestials came to Earth, Mother Nature offered them a group of people in exchange for saving the planet. So the Celestials experimented with early primate life, creating three distinct new species: humans, Eternals, and Deviants. Now the Deviants are humanoid monsters, while the Eternals are the protectors of Earth. So now that we know that, let's begin. The teaser opens by showing us one of the first civilizations on the planet. We can see a man going fishing along with, I'm guessing his kid. This probably took place roughly 5,000 years ago in Mesopotamia. The song Marvel used here is one of my favorites, The End of the World by Skeeter Davis. I think the reason Marvel used this particular song could be because of the way things are gonna pan out for Cersei and Icarus, as the song has lines like, "Don't they know it's the end of the world cause you don't love me anymore?" I'll talk more about it in a minute.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
The Eternals arrive on Earth in the ship, and as you can see, the ship was literally invisible until it arrived at the shore. As soon as it slows down, the ship materializes, so that regular human eyes can see it. And notice their technology is so advanced that even 5,000 years ago, their ship was able to completely blend in with the surroundings. Something that surprised Steve Rogers back in 2012, the Eternals had it since the beginning. Now of course, people at the time witnessing such technology that cannot be distinguished from magic deemed all the Eternals as gods. We then see Cersei asking Icarus, "Isn't this beautiful?" To which Icarus really doesn't say anything but just gives a look. And notice the song in the background says, "Cause you don't love me anymore."
It's beautiful.
I don't think it's a coincidence that this particular line came exactly when we see Cersei and Icarus for the first time. This is probably foreshadowing that they will go their separate ways, cause one of them will stop loving the other, or at least stop showing their love for the other. Then we see an Eternal who I think is Ajax, played by Salma Hayek, walking inside this hallway. Notice this hallway has the exact same pattern as we've seen on the outer side of the ship. This is gonna be a recurring thing in the trailer, so I'll explain it in a minute. But one thing that bugs me here is that there's no artificial lights in this hallway, except a few circled windows. Now there must be a reason behind this, because you would think as advanced beings as the Eternals, who can literally create an entire city, would be able to create light bulbs, which they can but decided not to in this case. Then we see Angelina Jolie's character Athena for the first time. Now if you go frame by frame here, you'll be able to see through her for a split second, and also the skin on her arms as her costume slowly materializes. So I think what is happening here is she summoned herself without her suit, but then uses her magical powers to appear as she wants. We then see Ajax in her full attire. And notice she and Athena have similar patterns on their suits as well. But let's talk about the background for a second. There we can see plants and animals, kinda similar to how Ego showed his work to Peter in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Speaking of which, listen to what Ego says here to Peter.
Out of all my spawn, only you carried the connection to the light.
Peter was the only one who carried the connection to the light, meaning he's a Celestial just like his father. So the Eternals, being a creation of the Celestials, it's no surprise their powers are mostly related to light. We then see Brian Tyree Henry's Festos, and behind him is Leah McHugh's Sprite. Festos is like the Shuri of the Eternals. According to his character description, he's an Eternal and an intelligent cosmic-powered inventor who secretly helps humanity progress technologically. And Sprite is an Eternal who can project lifelike illusions. Sprite appears to be a 12-year-old kid, but she's stronger and clever than she looks. Then the Marvel logo appears, and I just love the way Marvel incorporated its logo in this teaser.
We have watched, unguided. We have helped them progress.
Then we see Cersei putting her hand into dirt, and water starts gushing out from the ground. The same magical energy patterns appear once again. Now the reason I know it's Cersei is because if you pay attention to her sleeves, you'll notice the color matches with her costume. Ajax's sleeves are golden, Athena's are white, but she has gloves on her hand, which leaves us to Cersei, and it matches perfectly. Now Cersei is making water spring from the ground so that the villagers can use this water to grow their plants. We can even see Cersei participating herself, helping civilians. This is how she's gonna develop a special connection with humans. In the next shot, we see her handing over a dagger to another civilian. My theory is by handing over their weapons, the Eternals prove that they're on the good side.
Unseen them accomplish wonders.
In this scene, Athena is seemingly training warriors. Her character description reads, Athena is a fierce warrior eternal who can form any weapon out of cosmic energy and develops a close bond with Gilgamesh over the centuries. Now she's using the same spear that we've seen already in the previous teaser. In fact, we get a better look at it in this one. It seems as though this spear is also made of some sort of cosmic energy. And notice she doesn't seem as happy as the other ones, so her character might be concerned with what's to come or something that has already happened. But my theory is she probably knows a little bit more about the Celestials and knows the planet might be at risk, so her knowledge isn't letting her be happy. Now in the next shot, we see some humans kneeling to the Eternals. As I said at the beginning, civilizations as old as them witnessing such a level of technology would only think the Eternals are nothing but gods. We then get a wide shot of this scene and it appears to be the ancient city of Babylon. Now Babylon was a state in the ancient Mesopotamia, and this giant gate is called the Ishtar Gate, which I have explained in depth in my previous Eternals breakdown. Now I have found a very subtle detail that I think most of you would miss if you don't watch this teaser in slow motion. Notice when the teaser shows the release date, in both places there's a very small hourglass inside the O and the 0. Hourglass represents the passage of time, and Eternals have literally been there since the very beginning. So this small detail might be indicating the Eternals have been there since the very beginning of time and shall remain until the end of time.
Throughout the years, we have never interfered. Until now.
We see Lauren Ridloff's character McCurry reading a book at super speed. That's one of her main abilities, she's super fast. She would be an awesome competition for MCU's Quicksilver. Now Lauren Ridloff is the first deaf actor playing a deaf superhero in an MCU film, and her character is not affected by the sonic boom she creates. What she's doing here is basically gaining knowledge. As we can see, she has collected artifacts over time from different civilizations. She has everything here, starting from modern bedside lamps to ancient statues to magical artifacts. We can even see food laying around everywhere, indicating she has been here for quite some time. We then get a visual representation of the Eternals being there throughout history. Cersei stays in the same clothes but jumps a few thousand years into modern time. This does raise a question though. I understand she's an Eternal so she can live long enough to be here, but how come her clothes didn't wear off at all? This is not her magical suit, this is just a regular outfit. So I guess this movie will have to answer a lot of questions for us to grasp the entire concept. Phastos and Ajax then share an intimate moment, which I think, according to the plot leak, Ajax dying in the arms of Phastos. I know this might be a shocker. How come Marvel cast such a prominent actor only for her character to die in the middle of the movie? Well, just know that the Eternals always come back from the dead in the comics, which leads me to believe that this could be temporary or a ruse. And if she actually dies for real, I'm sure we'll see a lot of her in flashbacks, or as a sort of guiding spirit. Then we see Barry Keoghan's character, Druig. He's kind of detached from the rest of the Eternals. His power is basically mind controlling. He appears to have set up his very own cult with his villagers in the woods, where he's controlling these people. In the comics, he becomes withdrawn from the other Eternals because he disagrees with their interaction with humankind. Then Gilgamesh and Athena share another emotional moment, but notice in the background there's some sort of a weird projection. This could be our very first look at one of the Celestials that made the Eternals. The reason I say that is because it looks very similar to the concept arts that Marvel released back when they announced the movie. In this scene, Cersei, Druig, and McCurry levitate and create what is known as the Unimined. The Unimined is the greatest gift from the Celestials to the Eternals, and it is created when several members of the group come together and join their wills and intelligence. As a result, a being made of light, mind, and pure energy is formed. Because even though there are 3 Eternals, but if you notice very carefully, as a whole it looks like another being is being created, with both the sides as 2 hands and the center could be the body. Although I'm not sure as to why the Eternals would form the Unimind. It's it's possible that they will perform this act to stop their mortal enemies, the Deviants. Icarus and Cersei then get married, while another Eternal literally turns a tree into water. Now my guess is this might be Druig, only judging by the outfit of course. We then see Kumail Nanjiani's Kingo. Kingo is a Bollywood actor who seemingly is performing a dance routine for one of his movies, and in the very next shot we see him fighting what I reckon is a Deviant. Now notice he's wearing the same jacket here that we've seen him wearing in the previous teaser, which essentially means a fight will take place in the woods between the Eternals and the Deviants. Cut to modern time where Cersei and Dane Whitman are now together. Dane Whitman is of course being played by Kit Harington, and this is the first time we see him in the teaser. In the comics he's a human warrior who wields a mystical sword. Now notice they're looking up towards the sky, and in the next shot we see a thunderstorm forming and they're both standing in the front. So I think this is probably the Deviants coming to kill Cersei. I think it's the Deviants because when Eternals came to Earth, it didn't affect the clouds. Then this iconic shot with all the Eternals present in one frame. This is probably when they just came to Earth through this ship.
Thank you for this.
Oh, you're welcome.
So now that Captain Rogers and Iron Man are both gone, who do you think's gonna lead the Avengers?
I could lead them.
Now in the last scene, Icarus, Sprite, Athena, Gilgamesh, Cersei, Kingo, and his assistant are all having dinner. Notice Sprite didn't say Captain America and Iron Man are both gone. She said Captain Rogers and Iron Man. So she called Iron Man by his made-up name, but called Steve Rogers by his actual name. This is because they know that there's a new Captain America in town, aka Sam Wilson. I love this sort of continuity details. Now there's one last detail I gotta share with you lads. Notice when Icarus jokes about leading the Avengers, all of the Eternals start laughing, except Kingo's assistant, because mocking the Avengers is above his pay grade. He's just a regular human. But the Eternals, they're something much more powerful than the Avengers, so they can laugh it off quite easily. And that's it. This would be my scene-by-scene breakdown of the Eternals teaser at 0.25x speed. I hope I was able to give you lads a few new details that I didn't notice before. If I did, then please give me a thumbs up, and grab the subscribe button if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter to get updates about my videos. Till then, I'll see you lads in the next one.